Hello everyone and welcome to the highlights for the second round of the unitedracersleague.com Flat6 series. We are at Barber Motorsport Park for the first time in URL history, and this twisty and undulating circuit will be the venue for the second round of the championship as part of the sprint series. So a 45-minute sprint race around this track, and it will be key to finish this race and not make too many mistakes. It's a very tricky track, so mistakes will be capitalized on. And looking at the qualifying results, the field was very evenly spread out, with Mikko Korkiakoski taking the pole position with a 1:22.835, only 60 thousandths of a second in front of last week's race winner Lorenzo Tortella. Joona Karima put his Raging Racing car on third spot with 150 thousandths of a second behind only. So it was set to be a very tight race, and let's have a look at the highlights. Here we are on the grid at Barber Motorsport Park. We have Mikko on the right, Lorenzo on the left, and the race is on. Mikko gets away very well. Florian cuts to the middle of the road, and Mikko has no threat from behind as Robert Horvat goes wide there on the left and will lose some positions. For the rest, the start is very clean here. Very difficult first corner already. Then here over the crest, where the back end wants to step out for sure on the first lap, but everybody keeps it clean. Lorenzo has to defend. They're 3 wide here, going into turn 3. Downhill braking zone where Sergio Acevedo gets on the curb and loses some positions as well. So Mikko Korkiakoski kept the lead from the start of the race, and then the whole bunch is right behind him. Lorenzo sliding the car around through that corkscrew light corner, and the rest of the field also getting through quite well. But Lorenzo was able to keep second position from Joona Karima, but the race was far from over. The rest of the field streaming past here, with Peter Abelovsky making his first appearance this season with Sergio Acevedo as well, and David Nesbitt at last position at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, also starting this race. So good attendance here, and these are the standings at the end of lap 1. Mikko Korkiakoski, Lorenzo Tortella, then Joona, Tony, Florian, Miguel, Robert, Peter, Simon, Sergio, Jonas, Ivan, Greg, Martin, Hrvoje, Sando, and David Nesbitt to round up the 17 drivers here on this track. So now let's dive into the real racing in this 45-minute race. On lap 2 it was already getting very tight, as Tony Ukic was in 4th position behind Joona Karima, who slowed him down a bit, and Jonas' teammate Florian made it 3 wide, trying to get past Tony, and will he be able to do it around the outside? They keep it side by side. Still, I think Tony has the advantage here. He has the inside line for the next left-hander. Oh, some paint trading, but they keep it on the track both. But Florian goes through, so it's a Raging Racing 3rd and 4th position. Then Robert Horvat on the 3rd lap got on the power a bit too early and spun into the wall on the left, losing some valuable positions as his teammate went through. Then all the way in the back, Sando Donadel and Hrvoje Dobrovic were very, very close, and here Hrvoje going a bit wide, and Sando taking the opportunity to make the pass for P15. Then Sergio Acevedo lost some positions at the start. He's in 9th now behind Simon Fillingham. We have Peter Abelovsky in front. Simon goes a bit wide. Can Sergio put his car here on the inside? He will not have the better exit, but let's see what happens. Simon has the inside line for the next left-hander, and he keeps the position. Sergio on the grass. Oh, will he lose a position here? Oh, Jonas was a bit too far back to take advantage of that. But the pressure is on for Sergio. He had a good race in Oschersleben in the test round. Let's see what he can do here. Good pace here shown by Simon Fillingham to keep Sergio behind and stay in contention with Peter Abelovsky. Oh, now a bit of a slide. Oh, that slows him down. Can Sergio get past? Simon is able to defend for now, but then a big slide in the second to last corner, and he will stop the car. Oh, a small hit there by Ivan, who can keep going, and that's the second time that Simon loses his splitter in the opening laps of this race. Here's the top 5 streaming past, and then Miguel Santiago Carao trying to defend from Peter Abelovsky, but going a bit too hard over the curb and bouncing onto the grass there, only losing 1 position luckily, and getting back onto the track safely. So then Robert Horvat, he fell back in the first laps after his spin here at turn 3, and he's now behind Greg Metcalf. Goes for the inside. Greg doesn't defend too hard. It seems Robert has quite a bit more pace at this point, and that's Jonas as well, having a little spin there, losing 3 positions in the process. And then riding on board with Sergio Acevedo, he was picking up some places. Miguel Santiago Carao in front, going a bit wide. Oh, they almost touch, but they're still very much side by side going into that corkscrew. It's very dangerous. Who will get out on top? Miguel keeps the inside, but Sergio is able to cut in front. But it goes a bit wide. Can Miguel get onto the power early enough? It seems Sergio will have the advantage through this left-right chicane, flat out here. So that's P7 for Sergio Acevedo, and hunting down Peter Abelovsky in the next few laps. Peter doesn't have the experience from round 1. And let's see if Sergio can take advantage of that. Peter Abelovsky, very strong driver in our GT1 championship, so not to be underestimated here. But Sergio goes around the outside, and it seems Peter has a bit of a misshift there and loses the position to Sergio Acevedo, now in 6th position. Robert Horvat, as we said, was picking up the pieces. Now he's behind Ivan Gridello, and Miguel Santiago Carao just in front, going to the inside of Ivan, just like he did with Greg Metcalf, and he will go through. Yes, indeed. So P9 for Robert. How far can he get? A couple of laps later, onto main straight, just behind Miguel Santiago Carao, looking at the inside, but he's not far enough. Oh, that was almost a bit of a move, but Miguel closes the door. Then here again, showing his nose, and we have a back marker in front. That's Hrvoje Dobrovic about to be lapped. This will be very close. Robert in the slipstream, getting past Hrvoje, and now looking at the inside line here. Seems to be the best. Oh, and that's Hrvoje missing his braking point completely, and these 2 guys here are lucky they don't get caught up in that. But Robert Horvat goes through. Then by lap 15, these were the standings. So Mika Korkiakowski with a bit of a gap to Lorenzo Tortella. Joran Karima kept it in 3rd position, followed by his teammate Florian Kutz, also a bit of a gap. We'll see if that comes down in the second half of the race. Then Tony Ukic in 5th position, Sergio Acevedo in 6th. Then Peter Abelovsky with Robert Horvat, his teammate, and Miguel Santiago Carao very close behind, followed very closely as well by Ivan Gridello, sorry. So this foursome very close, followed by Jonas Lagesson, Simon Fillingham, and Simon's teammate Greg Metcalf is just behind. And then behind Greg we have Martin Brandon in 14th position, and David Nesbitt behind him in 15th position. Hrvoje Dobrovic and Sando Donadel unfortunately already did not finish the race. So then riding with Mika Korkiakowski, our race leader, about to lap Martin Brandon here. A bit of an awkward incident. Martin putting his car in the middle of the road, not waving the leader past, and very lucky for Miko, he can go over the grass and not have a big incident, but that closes the gap right down for the lead. So Lorenzo Tortella now within half a second of Mika Korkiakowski for the remainder of the race, and let's see where we get there. And then Robert Horvat side by side with his teammate Peter Abelovsky, who leaves the door open. He noticed that Robert has a bit more pace in him, and that will be the task of Peter to try and keep Miguel and Ivan behind as long as he can, to give Robert that breathing space that he needs to maybe get close to Sergio Acevedo if he can. But here's Miguel also very much to the inside, but completing the move. Can Ivan also take advantage? He goes a bit wide, but he has to slot in behind Peter Abelovsky, so it didn't take long to get past Peter for Miguel. Can he hunt down Robert Horvat or not? We'll see. Here we are then. Ivan Gridello also putting pressure on Peter Abelovsky. As you can see, and as I said in the beginning, very undulating, twisty track, very difficult braking zones, locking up left, right and center. Here through a dip and then over a crest, braking while turning, and oh, that catches Peter out at this point, giving Ivan Gridello 9th position. Then Sergio Acevedo in the closing stages of the race, making the same mistake as Robert Horvat, going onto the grass there and spinning out, and Robert will take advantage of that. So P6 for Robert Horvat, a good recovery drive from him. And here we are with the leaders. As I said, that incident with Martin Brandon and Mikko Korkiakowski closed the gap right down, and Lorenzo is very much on the hunt for his 2nd win in this championship. Not close enough, but you see all those small lockups from the drivers, from Mikko in front here. Oh, does he open the door? No, he doesn't. He closes the door even. So no way past for Lorenzo at the moment. Then a couple of laps later, to the end of the race, Lorenzo is really putting the pressure on Mikko, constantly within half a second of him, to see and try if he can get past. Mikko goes a bit wide where Peter Abelovsky made his mistake as well, but he keeps it on the track. And then backs up Lorenzo Tortella, it seems, a little bit, so he can't get onto the power, and that gives him some breathing space on the straight, but not a lot. So let's see, can Lorenzo now dive underneath Mikko? Goes a bit wide, so they take different lines, but there's no space for Lorenzo to accelerate out of this turn 2 to get a good move going into the last into turn 3. But this is the end of the race, last lap. Mikko Korkiakowski only slightly in front of Lorenzo. Will he be able to make another move, Lorenzo, or will it stay like this? For sure, it was a very hard race for both of these drivers. No gifts here for the winning positions. Going through the last turn onto main straight, and it will be Mikko Korkiakowski taking the win at Barber Motorsport Park, followed by Lorenzo Tortella, and then the Raging Racing guys, Jona Karima and Florian Kutz in 3rd and 4th position. Tony Ukic had a bit of a lonely race in 5th position, but he won't be bothered by that. Robert Horvat, we saw him recovering up to P6, so a good drive. And then Sergio Acevedo in 7th position at the moment, but drama will strike for him in the very, very last corner of the race, getting onto the grass in the braking zone. And Miguel Santiago Carao was not too far back, only 4 seconds. So going through that second to last turn here, Sergio getting his car back up to speed, but Miguel taking 7th position away from him. So 7th for Miguel Santiago Carao, 8th for Sergio Acevedo. And then behind them, it was Ivan Gridello who got past Peter Abelovsky during the race. He could eke out a bit of a gap. Peter right behind him. Then we had Jonas Lagesson. He already finished the race in 11th position, a lap down. Greg Metcalf in 12th and Simon Fillingham in 13th position. Martin Brandon in 14th, and David Nesbitt will finish in 15th position, with Sando and Hervoye not finishing the race. So here are the full results. Only 2 tenths between Mikko and Lorenzo, and also less than a second between Jona and Florian, so they had a really good battle as well until the end of the race. Very good race by everyone, and as this is the second round of the championship completed, with Lorenzo Tortella in the lead at the moment. But as we know, the worst finish of the season will be removed from the standings, so everyone can have his bad luck race or non-start to spice up the championship for sure. So next week we are going to Barer Motorsport Park for the endurance series, so that will be a 90-minute race, double the length, double the fun, and that will be next week for round 3, so make sure to join us at unitedracersleague.com or subscribe to our channel here to get the highlights of the races when they come out. So see you next week, and join us at unitedracersleague.com.